there's this perception of what a millionaire is. You know, when we're watching TV and we're seeing the media, the perception is our millionaires are these
the one percenters.
Yeah, well, they're the one percenters, and they're just spending money left and right on whatever they want to do, and they're, you know, drinking $1,000 bottles of wine, and they're smoking, you know, $500 cigars, and they're driving Bentleys and Ferraris and Porsches. That's what we see as the millionaires. Mm-hmm. The reality is, if you think about this, you know, especially in the areas that I work with, you know, in the Baltimore, Washington area, you know, we have a team up in Michigan. We have teams in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, and, you know, Orlando and Melbourne, Florida. You know, the people we work with are what are traditionally called the millionaire next door. Mm-hmm. They own a home, and the house is worth somewhere between, you know, $300,000-$400,000 to maybe $800,000 to $1 million. Well, as soon as you have a home that's worth, let's say, $500,000, and you have $500,000 in your 401k, you're a millionaire, right? And first of all, millionaires, you know, the middle class millionaires, you never give yourself enough credit for accomplishing what you've done, right? And the fact that you have gone from basically working at the bottom and working your way up to a place where you can look back and say, I've done a good job. You know, I've raised my kids as best as I could. I have a home that I'm comfortable with, that I can afford. Mm-hmm. I'm not living paycheck to paycheck, and I have enough money set aside to live the retirement to keep my standard of living going, right? That is a wonderful place to be. And I don't care if you have $1 million. I don't care if you have $500,000. I don't care if you have $10 million, right? It's all relative based upon your lifestyle and the things that you set forth for yourself, the goals that you set for yourself, you know, and for most people, the millionaire next door, if you walked out of your office today, if you got out of your car today and looked up and down the street, for most of us, we're going to be looking at people that are at or near, especially if they're 50, 55, 60 years old. There are a lot of millionaires out there, and they just don't recognize it because we think a millionaire is supposed to be what we see on TV, right? Mm-hmm. The reality is the millionaire is the guy that's standing behind you getting a cup of coffee. The millionaire is the guy that brought his grandkids into, you know, Chick-fil-A or McDonald's and watching his kids play at the Happy Meal place.
Has that 200,000-mile Toyota pickup truck.
Yes, exactly. Probably not a Toyota, probably a Ford, but be that as it may.
You're a Ford guy.
I'm a Ford guy. But the reality is that, one, we don't give ourselves enough credit for that, right? And two, you know, even though we've accomplished that goal, even though we're at that millionaire status, even though we've set aside the assets that we need to have in order to create the income streams that we want to live on during our lifetime, we're never sure that it's enough. Mm-hmm. And that goes again to the lack of preparing that most people do going into retirement. They have spent time figuring out vacations. They have done college searches with their kids. You know, they spent time doing homework with their kids when they were younger. At some point, like my kids, the math got beyond my capabilities. The chemistry got beyond my capabilities. The physics went beyond my capabilities. But you've taken the time to learn those things and figure out those problems along the way. But really, too many of us get to retirement and say, hey, you know, it's you know, Tuesday, it's 4:00. What am I going to do? Yeah. I'm supposed to retire. And as you're sitting here listening to us talk about this, as we're talking about taxes and being a millionaire and what all those things look like to you, if you're thinking to yourself, hey, maybe I have not done the proper planning. Maybe I need a second opinion on exactly what I'm doing. Is my 401k in the best place, in the best position to help me get into and through retirement? Do I need that 401k x-ray that Mike and Ryan and the team talk about? Do I need somebody to look at my taxes to make sure that I'm always paying the least amount of taxes possible? Do I have an estate plan in place? When I pass away, is my stuff going to go where I think it's going to go? Am I going to wind up in probate? You know, what happens if I go into a nursing home? If I have a stroke, if I'm part of that 25 to 30% of the people that wind up in a nursing home, do I have a plan of action And do I need that plan of action? Well, it's a rhetorical statement, right? The answer is yes, you need it. Every single person that can hear my voice, that's watching me on YouTube, that's following us on the podcast, that's doing the radio, that watches us on TV, every single one of you deserves to have a true financial plan to make sure that you're in the best place possible to take advantage of the fact that you've made smart money choices along the way. If you are that millionaire next door, congratulations. Take the next step. Make sure it's safe and secure as you go through retirement. Give us a call at 866-597-1040. 866-597-1040. Sit down with Ryan, myself, and our team, and we will show you how to create income streams that you will never outlive. Think about that. Never outlive. Warren Buffett says never run out of money. How about that? Let's take that as our first rule. We're going to show you how much you're paying in fees. We're going to talk to you about the risk you're taking, long-term care, estate planning, taxes, education planning. We want you to have a true, comprehensive financial plan, and it all starts by giving us a call at 866-597-1040.
866-597-1040 and online at thesavvyinvestorradio.com.